A package in the mail, MSX games from Japan. Collecting without fail, those shoot 'em ups, and that's the plan. He doesn't just collect them, he also codes them too. Join us and we'll go on electric adventures with you.
Hey YouTube, Electric Adventures here with a special pick up and play video. I'm sure other people have already done a particular pick up or unboxing of this particular thing, but I saw one at my local store and I happened to get served by a long-term friend of mine and they gave me a good discount, which is also very much appreciated. And it's none other than the C64 full edition, so not the mini. I actually do have the mini up there, so why would I want to get this one? Well, the idea of having the full travel keyboard really appeals. And you know, it's in such a good box and it's not a bad price. So here in Australia it retails for $199. That's actually not too bad considering it's a full-size machine with a full travel keyboard and the joystick and everything like that. Considering, shall we say, how bad the exchange rate is for $1 at the moment, that's actually probably better than I was expecting. And I got it for cheaper than that. I think what I got the equivalent of about a 15% discount, which is not too bad. And I'm interested to see because apparently they've changed some of the games on there, and you can use it more like a computer because it's got the keyboard and everything like that, and it has lots of USB ports as well, whereas the original Mini only had the one, and you had to use it with a a USB expansion port. So what we'll do, we will go and set this up on my table back there, zoom the camera in, unbox it, do that bit, and then we'll plug it into a screen, point the camera at screen and have a play. So let's go do that now. Alright, so here's the C64 microcomputer in all its glory. So 64 games, plus also does VIC-20 and C64. Now that in itself is actually very useful, because obviously my VIC-20 is getting old, and also don't have room for that to be set up as well as everything else. It makes it a little bit difficult. I'll keep talking, I need something to cut the tape. So that makes it a very good combination. So I'll just cut these little tape things. Now we will just have another better look at the back rather than when I held it up before. So we've got USB port, HDMI output, AC adapter included, micro USB power menu button, and more USB ports along the side. So very nice, and very nice box too. Quite impressive in itself. I haven't quite cut that properly. So here he is. So it has a plastic protector. Just take that out. Keyboard doesn't feel too bad. It probably feels a lot as if the keys are made out of a lot lighter material, I will say, but they seem to have a reasonable spring. A bit of typing obviously will tell with that. Now I do know that the case isn't exactly the same as a C64 case, it's actually more like the VIC-20 case. But let's take it out and have a look. So you can have a look in all its detail, and they've even got the symbols on the front of the keys, which is very important for getting that proper early C64 experience of programming and even VIC-20 programming, and your function keys. Around here we have 3 USB ports and your reset button, power in HDMI and another USB port. And our other end is blank on the bottom. So this is number 23,670. takes 5 volt 1 milliamp. So it looks very good, very true to the original shape. Now we get a box of extra bits here. Bring it out. So that has our joystick. So fully micro switched. And with our extra buttons here. So very similar to the one that came with the Mini, but it definitely has a different feel to the joystick, which I think is going to make a difference. It looks like it's got quite a long cord, and that plugs in by USB. There's an extra couple of buttons here too. It's actually quite a nice feeling joystick. Next we have another little box here. In here we have a 5 volt adapter, already with the Australian plug format on it, which is great. We have a USB to a micro USB, which is for our power, and we have a HDMI cord. So everything is supplied that you need to just plug it into your TV and away you go. Plus, we even have a manual. So a quick guide in a couple of languages by the looks of it. So a bit of caution information showing all our initial bits and pieces. There's a bit of a setup guide there as well, which we'll go through together. A bit of information on the joystick, what the buttons do, and then we get into another language. So not a lot of instructions, but at least there's something to get you started. Right, so that's the unboxing bit. So what we'll do is we'll get this hooked up to a TV. I'm going to point the camera at, I'm just going to use a monitor, point the camera at the screen and do it that way so we can work on it live together. Alright, let me get that set up and we'll be back in a minute. Right, back. So I have the camera pointing at the screen. I've turned the lights off to reduce the glare. Let's plug this cable in. Get that monitor on. Whoops, I think I wasn't patient enough there. Digital. One more time. Hold the button down for a couple of seconds and up it pops. Right. Oops. Yep. A button. Bit inconsistent with the buttons there, but it seems to be working now. Press A to accept. Right, there we go. So you can work it in carousel mode or classic, where it boots up like on a computer. Just for the moment, we'll go with carousel. Oh, I mean, it's got visual guides of the buttons. Now there's no sound at the moment, so hang on. That could actually just be my monitor. So excuse me for a second. Well, there we go. I don't actually have sound on this particular monitor. That's going to make it a little tricky. Alright, so give me a couple of minutes, I will sort that out and plug in some speakers. Right, I'm back. I've just plugged a small portable speaker in. I don't know whether it's going to be doing the sound any good. So Alley Cat, which is quite a nice little game, is the first one up selected here. We have Anarchy. I'm not sure I've played that one. Oh, one of my absolute favourites from back of the day, Attack of the Mutant Camels. Avenger, which is a really cool exploration maze game. It's the sequel to another game that then completely changes the genre. It's actually one of the games I used to really love on the MSX, even though it was a Speccy port. Battle Valley, I don't think I played that one. Bear Bova, platform game. Boulder Dash, one of my favourites. Bounder, a very cool platform game. California Games. Chips Challenge, bit of a shooter. Confusion, which looks like a pipes game. Cosmic Causeway, another 3D ball type jumping game. Cyberdyne Warrior. Cybernoid 2, excellent game, very hard though. Deflector, which is a puzzle game. Destroyer, bit of a strategy game there. Everyone's a Wally, platform game. Firelord, which is actually quite a good explore 'em up, more known that for the Spectrum version. Galencia, now this is a really good modern homebrew take on Galaxian. We'll definitely have to play that. Gateway to Ashby, a rogue-like adventure game. Gribbly's Day Out, a fantastic platformer. Grid Runner, one of Jeff Minter's early games, and that's a VIC-20 game, so we'll definitely have a go at that. It shows what can be done on the VIC-20. Heartland, Hero Robotics, I think I've played that one. Highway Encounter, Hover Bover, Impossible Mission, Impossible Mission 2, great games. IO, a shooter. Iridius OC, I think. I'm not sure about that one, I haven't played that one before. Jumpman, absolute classic platform game. Mega Apocalypse, that one looks pretty cool. Mission AD. I haven't actually played quite a lot of these games. Monty Mole Wanted. Monty on the Run, I've played that one. Nebulous. Netherworld. What's that? Nodes of Yesod, a platform game. Paradroid, of course. This is basically my favourite game on the C64 and stays to this day. Pit Stop 2, which is actually a great little racing game, a bit of strategy. Planet of Death, we've got an adventure game, which is great for the keyboard, of course. VIC-20 Psychedelica, so it basically, I think this is like, does fancy graphics to music. Rama, which is a really good Dungeons and Dragons wizardy type game. I have actually only played the Spectrum version of that one. Robin of the Wood, Silicon Warrior, looks pretty cool. Skate Crazy, Speedball 2, Spin Dizzy, Steel, got a bit of an adventure platform game. Street Sports Baseball. Street Sports Basketball. My brain wasn't reading that. Probably Summer Games 2. That's actually not too bad. Good joystick regular. Super Cycle, which is like Outrun. Not Outrun. Hang On, sorry. Sword of Faragol. Looks like another roguelike. That's cool. And the Temple of Ashby trilogy. Some more Temple of Ashby games. That's actually really good. The Ark of Yesod. Oh, we're back. I'm sure we've had that one already, haven't we? Hall of Fame. They're the ones that contributed. Thing Bounces Back. Platform game. Thing on a Spring, which is the original game in that series. Trailblazer. Iridium. That fantastic smooth scrolling shooter. Who Dares Wins 2. A bit of a commando takeoff. Winter Games. World Games. Zynaps, another shooter. Alley Cat, so we're back round to the start. So, with all those great games, it's very hard to choose. So I think what we're going to have to do, and there's a couple I will play, but we're going to have to... I'm mean, this is enough games to keep anybody busy for ages. So I'm going to give Galencia a go. I have played this for real on a C64. Hopefully my camera can... Okay, took a little while. Okay. So, for a start, it's got great intro music. And written by a programmer who knows how to push the C64. And even have an intro sequence. Oops. So when I want to get captured? Yeah, I'll get captured. I normally do a normal. So we have a kick-ass tune playing. Oh no, I lost one already. Not the best start in the world, but I'll just do a couple of screens. I'll get up to a challenge stage. And hold the fire button down for rapid fire. Joystick feels great and the response is nice and quick. Stage 3. I lost an early life there, so I'm not going to get the double fighter for the moment. It's pretty, obviously, other than my version. As you can see, it's only got inspired game. That's pretty cool. That's a lot of fun. I'll have a lot of fun playing with that. Now, one of these buttons, yeah, so you can save a game, you can pop up a virtual keyboard, or we can exit. So it's very easy to use. What else do we want to play? I mean, I want to play an adventure game. Let's look at a VIC-20 game. I think it's really good that it does VIC-20 as well, because there are a lot of really good VIC-20 games. So it's a little like Centipede, whoops, in a lot of ways. My terrible playing's not helping. Grid zap side, got it? Okay. You've got to keep an eye on these zap stations. Ooh, dummy. But you can see what you can do with character graphics in the right hands. Alright, so we'll only have a quick go of each one. And my gameplay was quite frankly terrible. I'm going to try something else that I haven't played before. Look, I'm just going to put this on because I want to hear this. You've got to hear the classic speech.
Another visitor. Stay a while. Stay forever.
And it was just a classic for its, you know, smooth animation. So you need a password to do that. So, you know, there's a bit of platforming, a bit of jumping skill, of which I obviously have none. come into this room a different way. So, you need to make sure you don't get zapped. Oops, and there was a lift there too. This is the worst demonstration of this game you probably could have seen. So I didn't find anything. So you have to, you know, work your way around rooms, find things, and there's a bit of a puzzle element as well as, yeah, and the robots aren't stupid. Been a while since I played that, as is probably plainly obvious. And you've got number 2 to play as well, so I suppose we better play another shooter. I don't think I've actually ever played this one before. But these sort of games really demonstrate what the Commodore 64 is good at. I'm sure this is going to be really hard too. Did I say something about hardness? It looks pretty good. It looks very radius-like too. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm going to need a bit of practice to get better at that one, but that looks pretty cool. A lot of C64 shooters are very hard. Think of the time. I mean, I personally made mine very hard as well. Jumpman, it's a classic. Not problem. I'm interested to see what this one's like. Oh, that's some Rob Hubbard music.
Get ready.
Let's speak. Whoops. Oh, this is pretty cool.
Get ready.
Okay, so I can change directions as well. Can you tell that was the first time I've ever played this? Right, that one was extremely cool. Once again, there's heaps of games I have not played here, so I'm not going to play all of them. I'm going to have a go at this one though. Just because this was like a game on the on the 16-bit machine, and you wonder how in the world it was possible to also do it on the Commodore 64. So it's a puzzle platformer. Oops. Okay, so you can't shoot those. It's been a while since I've played it. And yeah, it's a puzzle thing. If you get it wrong, you basically have to start the bit again. But this is incredibly impressive graphics. And showed in the right hands what you could do on the Commodore 64. Oops! Ah, didn't time that right. Oh, I didn't die. Ah, I went too far. One more try. I'm not going to try and do any of the games for too long. But as you can see, the display is lovely and clear. And even though the C64 is quite low res. Whoops. See, I've only got a certain amount of time to get this done. Oh no. So I might as well play out my time. I'm not gonna make it. But what a cool game. I've never heard of that one. It's another shooter though. I'm very tempted. I'm not going to play all the shooters. And of course my beloved Paradroid. I'll come back to that. Planet of Death adventure game. Psychedelic PS2 Runnerama adventure game. I mean, there are heaps of games on here that are quite playable. It's sort of a slightly... I mean, they've replaced some of the games on the previous one, and I think they've done a good job at giving probably a slightly more balanced variety of games. Well, at least for me, there's more on here that I would like to play. This is without plugging in a USB stick and adding my own. So I've got to press forward. Buttons changes gear. So I've got 3 gears. No corners yet. Too bad. It's quite sensitive on those corners. It's hard to keep pressing up and steer. Takes getting a little bit used to. Wasn't in the highest gear. Oh, boom! That's not a bad racing game. I'm sure the pit stop game would be good too. I'm really itching to try some of those adventure games. And the thing on the Spring, absolute classic. Iridium, I suppose that's a good test of the display speed and the lag. So as I said, others have done quite detailed analysis, and it does look like they have pretty much completely fixed the lag. And as I'm playing it here, I'm not noticing anything, any delay in my controller. Iridium, you have to damage as much of the ship as you can when you get to land. Enough to get killed like I did. Oops, got me from behind. And it's not an easy game. But this is besides my apparently inability to be able to play the game. That was a dreadful demonstration. I'm going to try that one too. So this is me having fun playing with this the first time. I love the music. Now, question is, how do we throw a bomb? Yeah, you hold button down, which means you can accidentally thrown all the Irish. Oops, got me. Oh, I'm throwing bombs all the time. Because I was leaning on the right button. Ah. Oh, I'm taking a bit used to it. But a very nice version of a commando-like game. I'm not going to play any of those because I'll embarrass myself. Alright, I'm going to try another shooter. Very nice. Don't run into the sides. This one at least seems possible. I like that one. Once again, we're playing it more later. Alley Cat, so around to the original game. That's quite a nice vertical scroller. Let's see if there's anything else. Oh, well, mutant camels. I said I'd come back to that one. Oops. Oh, it's been a little while since I played it. Oops. Oh. Okay, set number of hits. Kill one camel. Wow, am I out of practice? Don't you know the sounds? Must be going, or it started again. Hey, I killed a camel. just like the original game, a little hole opens on the front. If you can hit them, you can kill them with one shot. So, anyway, haven't played that for ages. If you can't tell, one of my favourites. I'll also look. There'll be heaps of games. I will be playing more on this later. So, oh, okay. This is our setting. So, pixel perfect, which is what we're doing. You can do European 4.3, North American 4.3. Pixel perfect CRT, I don't think I'd like that. CRT scan lines, yeah, probably not me. Pardon me. Oh, it's just down. Language, computer model. So at the moment, what about C64 PAL? Boot mode is into the carousel. Switch to classic mode. Gives us our Commodore 64. So let's see. Oh, sorry, pop the keyboard there. And it is dark at the moment, so. Oops. Oh no. I'm typing in the dark and around the camera. So, all the keys work. That works. I can't remember how to get out of it now. There we go. Oh. I can't see, it's too dark. Here we go. Never try and use a computer in the dark around a camera. So at the moment I don't have a USB stick in there, so that would load a directory off the USB stick. So I'm very pleased with this. This is actually very, very nice. So unlike the original Mini when it came out, I mean the Mini was good, but you know, loading things like in computer mode, you needed to plug in a keyboard and have a USB hub, so you could plug in the USB and the keyboard as well, and have the joystick. Whereas this one acts just like a you know, original computer. You could sit here, I could type in a program, I could put a USB stick in there, put some files on there, and load even more games from it straight out of the box. So you've got the 64 games on there to get you started, and when you get bored of that, you've got thousands of Commodore 64 games that you'll be able to download and play on it. So a very happy addition to the you know, computers in my collection. This will allow me to you know, have this you know, probably not in the game room, to take it with me to my holiday shack as an example, and just plug it into a monitor and play Commodore 64 games, which I think is fantastic. And even do a bit of you know, I could even do some programming on the keyboard. Now it isn't hardware emulation, I do know, but I didn't really see any problem that's that noticeable when we were playing those games, so it's good enough for this sort of thing. And I suppose the price point. There are some very good FPGA implemented hardware Commodore 64 replacements, but they are more than this, and you usually don't get a case as well. So the very fact that they've got a full travel keyboard, this case, and what comes with it, I think it's quite reasonable value for it. And even the joystick, they've improved that over the last one. So a double thumbs up from Electric Adventures. So I hope you've enjoyed this quick look at the C64, which I will be playing with some more over the next coming weeks. Alright, I'm Electric Adventures. Thanks to all my subscribers. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.